Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Samri.
Welcome to the Chopsticks
Chopsticks
and
and
Fork
fork,
Please
please.
podcast. Okay, so we're talking about Nope because we watched Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, and that was the movie made by Jordan Peele. So yeah, we'll just get into it. So the movie kind of starts off with like, you know, well you wouldn't know, but the main character, he is well. What did you say? The two main characters, or
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So the main characters are these kids whose family runs a kind of like a horse ranch, and they train horses to be used for like movies and such like that, or for filming purposes. And their movie starts off with their father, played by Keith David, dying pretty much from like a nickel falling from the sky.
And it entered his eye
Yeah,
to
yeah.
his brain.
So yeah, and overall, like this movie, kind of has a bit of like a thriller vibe to it. And
Slash horror.
slash horror.
Yeah.
How do you enjoy it?
I liked it because Jordan Peele's movies always make you. It allows me to philosophize or, have different theories.
Yeah,
I love
about
having
like what it
theories.
means and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to not think too hard on that when I watch movies. But let's see. So one of the things that happens, and I think the best way to talk about this is kind of go through it chronologically.
Okay.
That's how I think it's easier about it. So there's context for what we think about. So their father dies and they're having a hard time kind of making ends meet. They go to a film shoot or a commercial shoot, and everyone's disrespecting like the horse. They're like, okay, we want the horse to act a certain way, and the main guy, he's like, no, you have to respect the horse. The horse wants things this way, and they're kind of like ignoring him. And there's kind of like different like there's another character who owns a kind of amusement park sort of thing, and his name is was it Jupe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like Jupiter's Ranch, which is, and the main character goes by Jupe. That character goes by Jupe, and Jupe was like a child actor who started a sitcom that's had a monkey
Yeah.
named Gordy, and then Gordy like went berserk on set. And Jupe, like they kind of showed Jupe being like extremely traumatized by that
Yeah.
event, but he's using his trauma to make money. Like he has a whole like exhibit of that he said like, oh, you usually have to pay money to see this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you see him have this like 100-yard stare of like, oh, what was that like? I was like, oh yeah, there's a Saturday night night sketch, and he's kind of like not looking at them but like looking at the distance. So like I think the incident just like really traumatized him too.
Yeah.
And part of him is like trying to make sense of that trauma.
Yeah.
But yeah, so throughout this movie, like some of the horses start disappearing. Right?
They just lose their mind as well.
I think they're just running away. Like I think the horses realize they're getting chased.
Oh.
And like the idea for me is that the horses are also saying nope.
Oh.
And they're like, nope, getting out of here.
Oh, okay. They're trying to escape.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you have these foils because the Jupe has this idea of how, because Gordy went berserk, but Gordy didn't like attack him. So he kind of has this vibe of like he sees like this friendship in Gordy, because as like during the show, he was like, they were supposed to be friends. They did the fist bump, and it's like, oh yeah, Gordy was the first one to do the like exploded hand thing, you know.
Okay.
So he did. I think he was the one who did it, because in the thing where the monkey was putting his hand out to like do a fist bump, and he was about to fist bump the monkey as well, but then the monkey got shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like really weird things happen in the background. Like there was this.
But it's kind of like a foil, because you have what's the main character's name? The guy.
I don't know his name.
Well, the horse trainer, he kind of has like the opposite view of like, he's like, you train these wild animals, but you can train these wild animals, but you have to respect their rules, right? You can't make them do what you want to do, but you have to follow their rules and respect them, which is kind of like they foil each other. They're kind of like opposites in that regard.
Oh.
Because Jupe was trying to control, thinking, oh, like, there's a friendship between me and the creature. While the trainer's like, no, there's no friendship between us. I'm just respecting them. Right?
You know, I feel it's sort of the difference between how black people treat animals versus white people.
Yeah.
Because white people, they're fascinated by the wild. And they have like this openness. You know, like when Jupe got taken.
Yeah, well, Jupe's not white, but yeah.
Yeah, but he married a white woman and, you know, he's in that world.
Yeah.
So I think he's like white adjacent.
Okay.
Your face.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm not saying he's whitewashed, but he's closer to whiteness than blackness.
I mean, of course, he's Asian. Okay, but go on.
Anyways, we didn't mention that the siblings, they're black.
Yeah.
It's a black, like, one of the main things is it's a black Hollywood, like, horse ranch.
Yeah.
And it was their great number of grandfather was the first person filmed on a film riding a horse.
Yeah.
So that's significant as well, and they're trying to keep that legacy alive, and they don't know how to do it because the daughter is not into it. You find out later why.
Yeah.
And the son is not very savvy with like
talking to people.
Communication. He doesn't look people in the eye. He was very like reliant on
his father,
his sister to come, because he was like, oh, let's wait for my sister.
Yeah, and then also I think before that too, he was more reliant on his father to do the talking as well.
Yeah, it was his dad who was like making all the deals and like taking the horse and like doing all that stuff. And when the father died, he started doing it, but he wasn't very good.
Yeah. And
the way the shot, like the different scenes in that whole, like in the Hollywood thing, like they increase the tension of like it's almost like his sister is his trainer. Yeah. And he's like another horse, you know? Yeah. There's that theme that I noticed as well. Okay. And she explained, she does the whole like, you know, this is the history of this, and then at like, the end she adds
like her own like own self-shill sort of thing.
And he's like, you shouldn't do that. It's a family business. It's not just your business.
Yeah, and she's like, look, the family business is my side thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She said that. Oh. Where he's like, you can't just promote your side stuff. And she's like, no, that's my main stuff. The family ranch is my side hustle.
So she has disassociated herself from the family business because the dad and her they were like too strong.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we didn't see them interacting, so
yeah,
that's
but like it's kind of like a vibe.
too.
You can kind of get the vibe of like because like the son will be like, hey, why don't you help on the ranch? He's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not you.
Yeah.
I don't get up early in the morning to do whatever, because it's tough to be on a farm.
Yeah, I think also a lot of it too is like in the past she probably wanted to.
Yeah,
but like you hear the story of how like she was supposed to train a horse, but the horse was meant for there was a deal made with like with another movie, and so they used that horse that she was supposed to train for the movie.
Yeah, I mean, she could have still trained
I think it's more.
But the dad didn't want her to.
Yeah, the dad didn't want her to. I think probably like, oh, like this is going for like a big movie project. Like I have to be the one who trains it.
No, the son gets to train.
Yeah.
The horse. She could have trained it too.
Okay.
And she holds that against, and that's why she doesn't want to like be at the farm and work there, because maybe the dad is like a misogynist or something, probably. But she talks about how she remembers looking down at like her horse being trained by her brother, and her dad didn't look up at her to like recognize her or like to say, oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
There's also that theme running as well.
Yeah.
For like people in America, for black people.
Yeah.
We do this thing of like nodding our head when we see other black people.
Yeah.
To show them that, okay, I see you, even though the world doesn't recognize you as human.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you, I recognize you, or like you'd say hi or something.
Yeah.
And then that's what her brother did for her. He was like, he did the two finger thing.
Yeah, 2 fingers and I see you.
And he also did that at the end.
Yeah.
So. But continue.
Yeah, but to continue on, so there are more disappearances going around in the thing, at least with the horses. And the siblings are like, oh, that's weird, like what's going on, right? And so you find out that and the power goes out, like it goes in, like the power's on, and then it just like everything fades away, and it turns back on again.
Yeah.
Right. And that's and you realize that there is an alien ship. There's like an alien that's like flying around in the area, taking and it looks like a standard like UFO you would see in like the old movies, like a flying saucer and such, right? So they go get cameras, like they go to Fry's and they go get some cameras, and this guy kind of like one of the employees kind of like interjects himself into the whole plan, right? Where he sets everything up for them. Yeah. And he's really interested in doing this too.
Yeah, he's interested in UFOs or UAPs.
UAPs, yeah.
I don't know what it stands for, but
no one does.
Okay.
But you find out like the power goes out when this alien flies about, and then the thing that the main character, the guy, finds out is that he's like, this is not an alien ship, it is a alien creature. I think that was like one of the cooler twists about the movies. It's not a ship. It's not like a bunch of people flying a ship and like logically picking things out. It's an animal with its own like set of rules and like things, and that's how he starts like piecing things together. Yeah. Like, oh, don't stare at it. He's like, oh, it's an animal, I shouldn't stare at this. And it's cool because you have like these, and it goes to the Jupiter's ranch, the show, and you find out that he's been like using these horses as bait to like feed the creature for his own profit.
Yeah, and the very beginning, like the first horse that like just like leaves.
Yeah.
I think it was the horse that the dad was riding
Mm-hmm.
when the dad died.
Yeah.
So it kind of was already spooked.
Yeah.
And then the sister plays really loud music too. I don't know if that also spooked it.
Yeah.
But then it like just goes to the Jupiter
Yeah.
farm.
Mm-hmm.
And like remember there was like this bright light
Mm-hmm.
and like there was this like 80s sound like radio kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like what was that? Like I don't know what that was. I was like,
I don't remember that.
did the horse start speaking or something?
No.
That's what I thought.
I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, like the horse goes straight to the Jupiter farm.
Okay. But yeah, so Jupe has been using the alien, trying to use the alien to make a show.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually been buying horses from the main character's ranch, to feed to this thing. So he's been keeping on buying horses, and it's really funny because he actually offers to buy their ranch, right? And the sister's like, yeah, go do it, right? And like sell to him. And it's really funny. There's a line that he says when they're in the office, which is "Su casa es mi casa." Which is instead of mi casa is su casa, which is my house is your house. But it's he says your house is my house, which is really fitting because he's actually wanting to buy their ranch. Yeah. But you can also imagine of him also just like messing up too, like being like,
he doesn't know Spanish.
He doesn't know Spanish, so he meant mi casa, su casa, but like the other way also works too in the context of like, oh, your house is my house.
Yeah, and
but yeah, they the alien pretty much when he tries to set up the show, he has a show full of like the people in the crowd who pay money to see this show, and then the alien just comes by and just eats up everyone.
Yeah.
And there's this horrifying scene of like everyone stuck in like a tube screaming,
Yeah, and like you also understand why they kept hearing all these like screaming noises before the coins start dropping.
Yeah.
Like it's because people and like animals are getting digested or whatever it does.
And then it just spits out anything out that's inorganic.
Yeah, and
there's another cool shot of like it's above the house, and I think it's using the house as like kind of like it's like dumping ground where it just like poops or like it like spits everything out. It uses this farm for that, and there's a scene where like you hear all these screams up ahead, and then like and then it's quiet, and you see like all the blood drip down.
It was horrifying.
Yeah.
And the Fry's Electronics guy, I don't know if he's Hispanic or Asian.
Yeah.
Do you think he's Filipino?
No, he seemed more white to me, just really tan.
Oh. No, I don't think he's white. Oh. Anyways, we'll find out. So he's pretty cool. Like he has his own side story of like being dumped by a beautiful actress, and he has his own theories on UFOs/UAPs, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll do this, and please give me a 5-star rating.
Yeah,
and then
got it.
And then one time he's like, okay. And then there was also another scene. It was nighttime. Usually the alien feeds at night.
Yeah.
And it disguises itself as a cloud.
Yeah, and he's like...
that doesn't move.
Yeah, well, I think it disguises itself as a cloud, and they realize, that cloud hasn't moved.
Yeah, for 6 months.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh yeah, you're right. He's like,
yeah.
They notice that.
He comes over and he's like, okay, this is happening, and he just like moves into the house, sort of.
Yeah, he kind of just like interjects himself. Like he's like, I'm too invested in this.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? He's helping for free, so I guess we're not gonna like push him away,
Yeah. And
he is helpful in terms of like setting all the cameras up and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. And you know the cricket that like was
the
covering the
grasshopper,
Yeah, like what was that?
Just like inconvenience. So
no, I think it knew what it was doing.
Yeah.
Because it flew away right after the alien fed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god.
And so they end up as time goes on. So after the Jupiter Ranch gets like completely wiped out, because they had previously called a film director who's interested in like filming these sorts of things. Like you see him like showing, like looking at like editing together clips of like predators attacking prey. And he turns them down to help them at first, but then like after hearing the Jupiter Farm thing, he's like, "Oh, I'm going in to help you out."
Yeah.
And he has like this whole like camera setup that's like winch powered, so like you have to manually crank it to cause it to record.
Yeah, and he has really deep voice.
Yeah.
And he has like really cryptic, like when he speaks,
he's
you're
so
like,
weird.
"What's this?"
He's
like,
so
it's,
weird.
A bunch of parables and
Yeah.
and allegories, and you're like, okay, what is he trying to say? But anyways, you kind of understand what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
And you know, he gets taken because he's fascinated, and he's like, "Ah."
He needs the perfect shot.
Yeah, I feel like his shot. I think he was doing it while he was being like.
Yeah, he was.
Like, and probably when the alien at the end explodes. I think they will capture it was.
She
captured.
also did. There is also that she also got a really good shot, like right above, like right below it, with the manual like well that you stare down this well and you crank it, and then it will take your picture of everyone staring down the well.
Yeah.
So the well's pointing up, and then it's pretty much she detaches like this balloon, because you find out later on that it really doesn't like long hanging banners and stuff like that. Or like it doesn't like it at all, because it like starts hucking out like things like it ate a fake horse. It ate a trainer horse that had a bunch of like banners attached to it, and then like you see like throughout the series you see the banner like hanging around, like hanging out of its throat, so it has like something caught in its throat, and it gets really mad because of that.
Yeah, and it drops it on the
yeah
main character's car.
Yeah, and then they go and there's a inflatable of Jupe actually. Right, because it's Jupiter's ranch, so it's like an inflatable version of him. So she releases that in the air, and the alien tries to eat it, and it just poof, like explodes, because I think the alien has like a weird different properties to it. I think it's kind of like a balloon. It's kind of like a balloon, and the thing is that it gets caught up because Angel gets caught up in it. The Fry's electronics guy. But he's like covered in tarp and like barbed wire. And so he kind of like and the first time around he gets caught up in that, and he sees the alien come to him, and he's like, oh shit, and he like wraps himself around with like the barbed wire and the tarp. And I think the barbed wire like cuts apart the alien actually, which is why the alien has like a weird different shape at the end of the movie.
Oh no, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, because it changed shapes like after that.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that the alien can change shape into like looking like cloud. Yeah. And it can change to look like a ship.
Yeah.
Or
but he did like he did like escape because of the barbed wire.
The barbed wire kept him on the ground.
Yeah.
Because the alien sucks using like a tornado thing, but the barbed wire is like part of a fence.
Because the inside of the alien reminded me of like an inflatable like thing, you know, with a lot of air pushing through, you know, like it reminded me of very much of like a balloon, right?
Oh, okay.
That's why I think like, you know, the barbed wire cut it.
Oh, I don't think. I mean, it's a theory. So
yeah.
I think the reason why the Fry's electronics guy didn't get eaten
Mm-hmm.
is because the wire kept him, like the fence was like
Mm-hmm.
being, coming off the post.
Yeah, but like the thing is, it was about to come off, but then like it loosened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it was, but yeah.
Okay.
It's all theories.
Yeah, it's a theory.
So what else? So my theory, obviously Jordan Peele is also, at least half black.
Yeah.
Himself.
Okay.
And he makes a lot of his movies all center around being black.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has something to do with how black people are compared with apes and chimps in the US, and how something about like looking people in the eye, and how black people interact with each other and like do the whole I see you thing with each other, and with white people's fascination with weird things and how it might be dangerous. And also the main character, both him and his sister, they're both like, oh nope, like they
that happens a lot. Like,
they tend to
they're like, we're out, we out.
Yeah.
But then they go back in.
Yeah, because it's their farm technically.
Yeah, and the thing is that like they went into the intention of trying to record this alien to sell for money.
Yeah, his sister is like, okay, let's make money.
Yeah, like they're both in it for like the fortune and like fame.
I think the brother is in it for. He wants to keep the horses safe.
He wants it for the money, and then she wants the fame.
No, he wants to keep the horses safe.
But he also wants money too.
That too, but
he needs the money to keep the horses safe.
So he doesn't need to feed them to, or sell them to Jupe.
Yeah, he doesn't need to sell them to Jupe.
And he didn't know that Jupe
he didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know what
things.
Jupe was doing, but like he had to sell them, even though like Jupe. It's kind of suspicious when Jupe was like, "Hey, I need another horse." It's like, what are you using these horses for? That would be my thought, right?
Yeah. And I guess he could have found out that the horses were being eaten because Jupe invited him.
Yeah, Jupe did invite him.
But he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
So, but it's good he didn't go because he would have been eaten by the alien.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, it's, a lot of spoilers in this show, obviously.
We say that after the fact.
Yeah.
We should put a spoiler in the title or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah, it's Jordan Peele's movies are always like makes you think, and I have to watch it over and over again in order to catch more stuff.
Yeah.
It's very filled with images.
I feel like this one was actually like less scary than his previous movies. I don't know why. Maybe it's because like for me, like as seeing an alien monster attack everyone isn't as scary. Like on Earth isn't as scary as like the other movies, which are more like slightly more unexplained. I think. Like with Get Out and with Us, it's a little bit less explained. But in this one, it's like, oh, it's an alien, right? Right, and like there's more like you understand the rules of the alien more than you understood the rules of like the other like entities in Us and Get Out. Right.
I mean, Get Out, it's supposed to be like crazy white folks who want to be black or whatever. Yeah,
but like there's that supernatural aspect of them of like how long have they been alive, like what are they? What are the rules? Like and. This one is kind of like, oh, here's and they make it so like, and this is a thing in horror where like we're afraid of the unknown, right? We're afraid of everything that is unexplained, and I felt like in this movie, there was more explained pretty much about this thing. So they're like, oh, this is as scary as like a wild animal is.
The part about the chimp though.
Yeah, that was freaky.
With the shoe that was standing up, I'm like, okay, what is that?
Yeah, I think I feel like people have been making a lot of theories on that.
Oh.
Someone was like, oh, like there's a possibility because that is on his Jupe's point of view. That could have just been something he just like hyper fixated on. You know, it's kind of like as like something that was like slightly off that like stuck in his mind, right?
Okay, because he was a kid. And...
Yeah, he was a kid. He's going through this really highly traumatic experience. There's a lot of theories that are going on with the monkey scene, like the popping sound, like what exactly triggered the monkey to like go crazy, which is like, you know, the popping balloon sounds. Why the monkey didn't even attack Jupe while it attacked like everyone else. There's a lot of theories going around in that scene. That scene is explained less than the actual alien that is attacking everyone in this movie.
Yeah, I feel that part is more scary because they just like it went black when the, you know, like, and you hear the whatever the chip noise it makes, you know, like in the movie or like in the show. They didn't show like when the chimp turned. Yeah. You just see its paws bloody and
mouth bloody.
Yeah. It starts to eat the faces.
Yeah, that actually happened in real life.
Oh, really?
Where there's like an incident where like a monkey like ate someone's face off.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they talk about how, this is why the chimps are not used in sets anymore. Yeah, it's really interesting, and I'll probably watch it again if it comes out.
Comes out on digital. Yeah, it's in theaters right now. It's a very fun movie, and
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Please, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. And hit that bell notification. We'll see you all later. Bye.